PE. It is suitable for general family viewing.
Hello there and welcome to Beyond the Limit with me, Muthoni Maina. Now, on this episode, we will get to journey on mental health. Remember, with the government launching the Kenya mental health policy from 2015 to 2030, that particular policy states that 1 in every 4 Kenyans suffer from mental ill health in their lifetime. And that translates to a couple of millions of Kenyans who will need medical attention. But, when it comes to the gender card, most of us get to hide underneath that blanket. And it's hard for most of the people to come out. And not many people get to know that they are undergoing an illness when it comes to mental health. So on this episode, I am joined by a very special guest, Victor. So Victor, karibu sana.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so I know a little bit of your journey. So maybe you could briefly introduce yourself to the viewers and tell them, touch more on your story on suicide and mental health.
So thank you for having me, and I thank God also. So my name's Victor Otieno Hamisi. I'm born again. I'm not perfect. Victor is a very jovial man, and I was born and raised in a very, let's say, humble home, and things later on got hula baloo. When dad passed, later on mom passed, and then my journey of life started. So first after my dad passed, now my mom got remarried, then the other guy passed later on, so we went back home. When we went back home, my little brother passed. It's been a little tricky about a lot of people passing in between. So now when my mother passed is when now things started unfolding. I was supposed to go to a certain children's home. It's called Marindi Children's Home, and I gave that opportunity for my sister. So my sister went, and she had a good life. So the brother to my dad started, wanted me to drop out of school and started mistreating me. Beat me to a point where by one day, because I used to go to a school called Asat Johnson, it's in Migori. So one day he beat me to a point where he tied me with the rope, and he beat me, and then after leaving me, I took the rope to go hang myself. That was I was 12 turning 13. So when I was just about to hang myself, a certain voice just talked to me, and I believe that was God. I've got good plans and a good future for you. So I walked out, and then I walked from a place called Kowino, it's in Migori, to Homa Bay foot. After a few days, I went to see a friend of my mom who were very close to us. I found out she was not there with her family. So then I moved out from Homa Bay. I was coming to Nairobi on foot. So I journeyed from Homa Bay.
What?
I journeyed from Homa Bay to Keroka. So when I go to Keroka, I go to a police station, because by then, for me, I would say I grew up in Nairobi, so I knew kind of some of the rights that kids have in the police, So when I went there, I introduced myself and I told them I want food and I want a place I can sleep. So they gave me food, though ile ya wafungwa, but somehow ile mzuri. And then I stayed there for like 3 days, and I even helped the police to catch some of the brewers. So after a few days, one police who became my friend, I never forgot his name, he's called Ken. He put me in a bus, came to Nairobi, and then when I came to Nairobi, I went to where my dad used to work. Kalasinga put me in one of the company's tractor, because he was unable to help me. So went back home. When I went back home, I stayed there for a few days, sold my grandmother's goat, came back to Nairobi again. So when I go to Nairobi, I went and lived with my uncle. But unfortunately, that's where the drama of life started. my uncle would drag me and rape me for more than 3 months.
Continuously?
Yes, continuously. One day he came when he was drunk, and that's when I got to know that he's the one that has been doing this, because I would go to the toilet and blood coming out, and I would tell him he'd give me painkillers. He told me sometimes it will be hemorrhoid. I didn't know hemorrhoid what it is, but when I grew up now, that's when I came to know. Part of my life. And then when that day he came drunk, he said, nipe venye unanipeanga. So I was like, what have I been giving you? Then he said whatever he was doing. So unfortunately, it happened by force. And then the next day, the wife came, because they had parted ways with the wife. For me, I think, in my own way, I think the wife knew what he was doing. And when I was coming in, his brother would tell me, be careful of Uncle X. I can't mention his name because right now he's in jail. Not because of me, but he was put in jail because he did the same thing that he was doing to me to his best friend's kid. So he got him and put him.
It was a trend in his life.
And when the wife came, they were arguing about upkeep for the kid, money for the upkeep. And I saw the door was open. So I ran, and I became a street boy. Yeah.
Wow.
So in the street, my life was very tough. I have passion for street families, and that's every time I carry these socks. They have got a meaning, you'll know later. So I tried suicide more than 6 times.
More than 6 times. So the first time, it was at home. Then the second time, in the streets.
The second, the third, the fourth was in the street. Yeah. And the last one was in the street, whereby I took an acid and drank. I prayed and then drank it. And then nothing happened to me. It got to a point of life whereby I love saying it the way I said in the Sheng. Mazai God nakuja, sikuji kwako, shetani pia sikuji kwako. I'm just tired with this life and I just want to leave earth. That's all, because I just want peace. Imagine sometimes going out without food for more than a week or 2 weeks, and the only thing you can use is just the glue or ile mafuta ya ndege. When you meet street kids with that not the bottle, kuna a cloth they put in their mouth. Hiyo ni mafuta ya ndege, and that keeps the stomach full. The same way when you take a soda, that gas wangi inafanya tumbo yako inaja. Yep. And then the worst thing is it makes your stomach full, and then it makes you high. So unadanganya mwenyewe umeshiba na akili pia, So this fourth time when I tried suicide, it never happened. That's when I started washing clothes. I went to Gekomba, started washing clothes, just to keep myself up. And then.
So how much would you earn by, doing
in a day? You'll get around 100 shillings. Good day at 200 or 300. By then things were really tough. And then I remember this family that were family friends. So I went to them. Kindly they helped me, took me back to school. And then when I was informed too, they were unable to pay my school fees because the husband lost his job. And then we parted ways. I had to stand in for myself. And then I started going back now, washing clothes completely as a houseboy, to fend for myself. And things sometimes, I was in a school, it's called Ushirika. In Form 4, I only registered for exam and I went back to do my exam.
So you'd pay for your own fees through the chores that you were doing at the time?
Yes. So in that process also, I adopted another kid who right now is graduating this year from USIU. Though we parted ways, but someone took him in to help here. So things really got tough to a point whereby another time I tried suicide, but kuwasha gas, it didn't happen. Chapa kibiriti, it didn't. And the last time that one was the worst one, because I went to cross Thika Road for a lorry to knock me, but the guy held on the brake na kanitukana, chinga wewe, and he gave me 3,000. Shika hiyo wendo kule labda ni njaa inakusumbua. And remember this, that is exactly money that I needed to pay my rent and to have food. And that was the last time I tried suicide. You know what? I accepted who I am, and I started now working hard to fend for myself. So things got well. I met this lady who became my wife to be. And then she really helped me a lot. And every time I'm on interview, I usually say, I thank God for the Nundas family.
Yeah.
She really helped me a lot to accept first who I am, to accept that things happened. I can't change it, but I can change how I face tomorrow. When I accepted myself, I now started accepting who I am, whatever happened. And then someone came in and helped me to have a surgery at Nairobi Women. I had a surgery at Nairobi Women. It was successful. The things got really well. And after that, I started campaigning about my own initiative. It's called Check on a Man. It's all about mental health in men. And when I started this, things really got well to a point whereby now my wife to be passed. When she passed away, it was one of the worst moments of my life. 2019, November 26th. And I was really low in a moment for like 2 years. But the strength, every day, she was one of the pillars. And that's why I say, I thank the Bible where it says, he who finds a wife finds a good thing and obtain favor from God. Many people do not know that the favor is given to the woman. Yep. But God does not give favor to any woman. He gives favor to a woman who has a relationship with him. So for men who are dating or who are married, just know that every time you walk out and things work for you in terms of finances or jobs, it's because of the favor that God has given the woman.
People should get to know that from you. But wait, before we get on to, we get to progress with this. When you were going through all that in your teenhood, did you ever try to reach out to your sister? Because you said that, her life went on an upward trajectory.
One of the worst things that I did was to keep silent. Because if you're a victim of either, let me say, GVB or mental health, because like mental health, the moment you keep mum or you keep things to yourselves, that's the exactly moment when the door of problem starts. That's the time you open the door of problems. Because every time you keep things to yourself, they pile up. They pile up, they pile up, they pile up, they pile up. And when the vacuum gets occupied, then the door has to be opened by a force. I didn't reach to anyone. The only thing I'll do is just smile. Of which smile is always my
You show people that I am okay, everything is fine.
Yeah, there's a say I usually say it's okay not to be okay, but it is not okay for you to keep quiet and die with some of the issues that you're going through. I say so because I knew what I was going through. I never reached to anyone. I'd always thought I was that African man who jikaze when ni mwanaume.
That's what society tells you, like, man up, things will get better.
And every time I would do this, every time, it will get worse.
So did you reach out to her? Did you?
No, I never reached.
Up till now, what about now? Are you guys?
We are good with her. Oh. We are good with. She's okay. She's married. She's really okay. Yeah. And in terms of reaching out to her, I would reach out to know how she is. But for me, I'd not reach to anyone or even her to know how I am. Because allow me to ask you, how will I come and reach out to you and tell you I've been raped? How many people society are like,
not so many,
you are joking.
People will tell you, acha mchezo bana.
The only people that think that it's really bad, it's the female.
But wait, let's get to hold it for a bit. Now guys, it's time to take a very short break. To keep it right here, we will be right back with more on this story.
You are watching TV47, the home of untold stories.
Sonadol Extra imetengenezwa kwa njia spesheli kupambana haraka na maumivu ya kichwa, mwili na hata meno. Sonadol Extra, hakika maumivu yakizidi, pata ushauri wa daktari.
You are watching TV47, the home of untold stories.
Welcome back to Beyond the Limit. Yes, we're still here with Victor. Now, Victor, before we took a short break, you were telling us, about how it's not easy for one to open up to the society because people get to judge you by that, and so many people get to shun that away. They're like, wait, what are you?
For me, mostly in terms of gender, for the ladies, they open up and share what they go through easily. Because remember this, I think most ladies, when they go either to the salon, chama, or they meet up in church, they'll sit down and bring up stories that will make you even open up and share what you go through. And you ladies, when you meet, you're not ashamed to speak about it. You even offer a shoulder to one another and cry about it. And ladies have taken, or women have taken up the power of knowing that talking is a therapy. Which on the other flip side of men, they don't know that talking is a therapy. Most of them think that the only place that I'll get that sigh is drugs, alcohol, drugs, Others, self-isolation, keep it quiet and keeping things to yourself. That's where the masculinity part whereby jikaze when mwanaume falls in. Number 3, some of them, they think that sex. And that's why you see a lot of single mothers and kids who are called, quote in quotes, which they're called bastards, sorry to say. Kids who don't have identity, they have identity crisis, they don't know who their father was or even their mother was. And even in families, marriage and relationship that are affected, a kid that was brought up because there was a man who thought that by sleeping with a woman, I'll get that is. Okay, releasing your seed does not mean that you're releasing your emotional. you get. That's a seed you're releasing, but you're not releasing your emotion. You're bringing up a generation that is hurting. But for you to have that sire, you'll not have that is by releasing your seeds. It's by emotion. Emotion is something that you speak about it. And the last one are men who think, who are battling depression and mental health, and they think that taking their own lives or committing suicide is the best thing. And for this, some of them fall into 2 categories. They either take their own lives or take others down with them, or even take others down, thinking that they'll get that peace. And it's in 3 categories. Either take others down with them, take their own lives, or even take others, And that's why I come in by saying, for men, they should mantle up, or even they should man up in a positive way, and know that these 4 things, committing suicide, self-isolation, drug abuse, or even having multiple sex partner, will not give you peace. But the only thing that can give you peace is by you talking about it. By you talking. I can do it by my own hands. Self-isolation, drug abuse, multiple sex partner, or even committing suicide. But you speaking about it will help you. At the end of the day, you'll take alcohol, and after taking that alcohol and getting high, you'll start speaking what you go through. But you'll speak about it, but you're high. You're not.
You're under the
influence of. You're not the real you. But if you speak about it when you're just you're just okay, you are sober, you'll have that peace. And that's why I respect somehow the Catholic Church. I'm not a Catholic. But you find a time whereby they go to speak pale kwa nini, they speak to the Father about what they're going through. And it is high time in society whereby mental health is only first healed by you accepting that you're battling something that you're going through. You do not have the power for you to overcome it, but you'll open the door of healing by you speaking about it. And when you speak about it, it gives you that, I've remembered something. The days whereby in the old school, me, I'm an old school person. I used to have a girlfriend in primary school, There's a time I was late in school. Na nikapigwa mbele ya parade. Nilijikaza kwa sababu
asikuone
Liz ako pale. Let me tell you, ananiona pale, asinione. But nilijikaza, and then after that I went behind the choo. Nikalia. Na nikikuja huku mbele, nimejikaza. And that's what most men do. And even for the ladies, a small percentage of ladies even do that. And it is high time you know that speaking about it gives you the desire and gives you the peace. And after you open the door of accepting who you are and talking about it, then you do not only run to anyone telling your problem, because even some will use it later on to bring you down. Today we know of social media.
People are so quick to type and to tweet out there.
To say anything about you. They don't know that what you've posted is exactly what you're going through. So instead of you posting about it, instead of you going to social media and posting what you're going through, go on your knees. I usually say the best witchcraft that you can ever have in this earth is your knees. Yep. Go on your knees, ask God. I'm not a religious person. I respect the choice of faith. Muslim is a way of going to God. Christianity is a way of going to God. Yep. These are all pathways leading us to God. Go to a sheikh, go to a pastor, go to a bishop, or if you're married, speak to your wife. Yep. If God tells you speak to your wife, speak to your wife. If God tells you speak to your mom, speak to your mom. If God tells, God will always give you, show you on who to speak to. After that, God has given, and it's in a silent voice, God will speak to you. When God has told you to speak, go to someone and you feel peace with them, then share what you go through. When you share, and you, the person that, this person that has mental issues is coming to you to speak about, learn and to take the power of being attentively. Don't be quick to judge or even to tell them something. Just allow them first to pour it out. If it's crying, let them cry. And I usually say crying does not demean or make you...
People should actually get that very well,
make you less a man. To the men who cry, crying does not demean or make you... sasa Victor analia ni mwanaume. Yeah? No. Yep. If any one of us loses a loved one, we usually cry. And crying does not choose gender. It's for all. The Bible says there's time and season for everything. It starts by saying time to cry. So crying is not for female only. It's for everyone. Yep. So when this person has come to you and open up, then chukua everything. Yep. And then also go to God. You're a counselor, you're a psychiatrist. Ask God, what should I tell this person?
So how many people are part of the Check a Man initiative?
Check on a Man so far it has reached out to more than 5,500 people. 5,500? Yeah.
In Kenya?
Yes, I do that in matatus, I do that in churches, I do that in schools, I do that in every place that I go through. Even today when I was in your studio here, I was talking to someone. I usually I'm a talkative person, yeah? So there's two questions that I usually pose. Ukwaje? And then how is life?
But men are, first of all, they're defensive. Because they're like, I don't know, you've just seen you, so unamuliza ukwaje. What they'll tell you, niko poa, but hawako sawa.
Let me tell you something. Yeah. If you ask any man, if you first introduce yourself, niaje fiti, and then bring it a story in between. If you ask any man how life is, they usually share what they're going through indirectly. Any man, if you ask him how is life, even this one here that are on the camera, you should ask them, niaje Steve fiti. How is life? Life iko aje? Whatever they tell you after that question, that is exactly what they are going through. My marriage, that is exactly what he's facing in marriage. Finances, that is exactly what he's facing in finances. Relationship, that is exactly what he's facing in a relationship. Mental health. And anything he tells you will color for you in terms of his mental health or her especially for the men, his mental health. It will picture for you or paint for you the kind of mental health that he is currently in. Yep. And that's why instead of just asking men, mental health yako iko aje, or how is your mental health, just ask him, how are you? Good. And how is life, by the way? And how is life? And that's why I usually tell most people, each and every day make at least sure that you check on your dad, you check on your husband, you check on your brother, that security guard. When I came here, I had to say hi and ask the security guard, niaje fiti?
So ulianza kwa gate.
Yeah, how is life? How is life? Yeah. And whatever he told me, I would picture what he's currently facing. Yep. I would picture what he's currently facing. I know men are defensive. In one way, they're not defensive in a bad way, but 70% are defensive negatively. Yep. They're defensive negatively because they're ashamed to speak what they go through. I'm not against women empowerment, but I'm against empowering women at the expense of forgetting men. We are in a society whereby we have our own cultures, yeah? Whereby, like me, I'm a Suba, you have the rights of circumcision, yeah? And you call someone who went through that a boy. How would you feel? Any man, even the ones behind the camera, if you are called a boy child, You mean someone who has beards or is grown up and is a father, you call such a kind of person a boy child? You know, it's high time we be sensitive on some of the names that we call people.
Yeah.
It's either you are a young man or a full grown up man. So to a point whereby if a man open up and share what he's going through, and that's the reason why they're so defensive, is because even some of the names that they're being called. Imagine a person like Yusuf Wambugu here. You call him a boy child. And he's a father to someone. He has a child. So even him is a child.
Yeah.
So if he's facing something, will he come to you and share with you, and yet you called him a boy child?
He wants.
No? So it is. So when you embrace men and love them for who they are, yeah. And as for you men, first learn to love yourself. The Bible says, love your neighbor as you first loved your. Nobody will love you if you don't love yourself. Nobody will reach out to you if you don't reach out to yourself first. The first thing is first reach out to yourself. Yeah. When you reach out to yourself, then it will be easy for you to reach to another person. And when you do that, you attract who you are.
That's very true. People might not see it, but that is what happens. Hiyo ndo mambo iko kwa ground.
So after you've reached out to yourself, then reach out to someone. Go to God and ask God who to reach out to. And when you're a person who reach out, you seek God intervention, and God leads you to the right people, then your life will be easy.
So, umekuja na socks. Maybe you could tell us the reason behind that and why you do it.
So for the socks,
yeah.
Most of the time after my job, in terms of helping people, counseling and every that, I came up with an idea. In Kenya, you cannot go to everyone and tell them, every Thursday, I feed street families. Yeah? Nisaidie na pesa. So I became an entrepreneur. In a way. Yeah. So every Thursday, pale Jivanji, from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m., share the little that I've got, food, and also talk to them. And the money that I get, some even I help to start something. Yeah. In Kamukunji, they buy and sell some few things. And if you buy a pair of socks for 70 or 80 shillings, that is the minimum. You can give as much as you want. But a pair of socks for 80 shillings or 70 shillings, you've bought a plate of food for a street kid. Yeah. And even some of them, for those who are not financially able, they even give clothes. Yeah, or even volunteer to come and help me and talk to them. Yeah. So this far, apart from the ones that I've helped in terms of schooling, I've been able to feed street families every week.
That's amazing. And maybe with that, on that note, you could tell people where they could get to contact you, because I'm being told that time is not on our side. So maybe you could briefly share your contacts. Yeah.
Before I share my contacts, I'll just allow to say 6 things. Number 1, to the men. I want to say that it's okay not to be okay, but it is not okay for you as a man to keep quiet and die with some of the issues that you're going through. And I want you to know these 6 things. Number 1, I want you to know that help me to reach out to people, to all the men in these 6 points. Number 1, help me guide men to God. I want each and every man to have an intimate, personal relationship with God. If you're a Muslim, read your Quran. If you're a Christian, go to church. These are all avenues of us going to God. Number 2, I want you to learn to love yourself as a man. Don't ever think that someone will love you if you don't love yourself. First, love yourself. We give out of our overflow, not abundance. Number 3, I'd want all men to be faithful to their wife. And I usually say, if you're a married man or if you're dating and you still love school-going girls, kindly buy your girlfriend or your wife school uniform. Yeah. Number 4, I'd want you to learn to have time for your individual child. Don't bring up a happy child. Bring up a responsible young adult and groom your child in the ways of God. Number 5 is have time for your collective children. Don't treat one child more precious than the other. Treat them equally and learn to sit down. Sometimes ask your children some of the character they hate in you as a father or as a mom. And number 6 is have time for your family. So each and every day, do me a favor, check on your dad, check on your grandfather. And these old folks, they're not dying because of age factor, but because of loneliness. At the end of the day, if we do all these 6 things, and I forgot to say this, I've never seen an ambulance taking a man to the hospital saying that I'm sick because of lack of sex. Kindly be faithful to one woman. On Facebook, my name is Victor Hamisi, Hamisi, K-H-A-M-I-S-I. On YouTube, just write Victor Hamisi, or check on a man by Victor Hamisi. And this is what we are doing just to help men. I want all men, when they come to work, they have peace. Yeah, when the area matatu, he has peace. And each and every day, ukiingia kwa matri, don't be quick to use your phone. Check on your neighbor, check on your passenger. You never know that what the kind of help you give.
Right.
The biggest thing you can ever give someone is a shoulder to lean on and have that sire. And when you do that, you've helped a life and a generation.
Totally. Asante sana, Victor, for your time. Now, guys, I hope that you have learned a lot from Victor